What is up, guys? This is a sort of breakdown analysis of the God of War story trailer that just came out yesterday. Um, it's not gonna be like a literal breakdown of every single frame, but I wanted to do this because there were some things that I noticed on, after watching this trailer multiple times, that I didn't notice on my first time watching it, in my initial reaction, right? So yeah, I just want to do this to kind of, dive deeper into this trailer, I guess. We're gonna talk about Kratos, just kind of, his mindset, or just like how much of a different person he is in this game, seemingly, than the past God of Wars that I really want to talk about. Um, the girl, obviously, the lady or whatever, I want to talk about her. Um, and obviously just Norse mythology in general. Yeah, so let's get started. This is gonna be really fun. So I think the biggest question that I have, even after watching this trailer, is who is this woman? You know what I mean? Like, we know for a fact that she, without a doubt, isn't Atreus' mother. Um, and then I feel like it's safe. Like, I don't know. I feel like it's safe to assume that she won't be like a love interest, because the kind of vibe that I'm getting from these two is like maybe a friend. Like, I can come to you for guidance, or to seek some sort of wisdom, or I can come to you when I need help. That's just kind of the vibe that I get from the both of them. So I don't see anything romantic or sexual between these two. So yeah, ruling both of those out, um, I think my mind initially, like in terms of her, identity and who this woman could possibly be, my mind immediately went to the goddess of love, which is Freya. Which Freya essentially is the goddess of sex, battle, and pleasure. She's like apparently like one of the most beautiful of the Norse goddesses as well. But thinking about everything that I just said, about like the kind of vibes I was getting between her and Kratos, I was like that wouldn't make much sense, because like if she is the goddess of sex and pleasure, like she totally does not come across as that in the little bit that we've seen her, right? So okay, I'm scratching off Freya. I'm scratching off Frigg as well, because I think well, first of all, she's I think one of the wives of Odin, but Frigg essentially is like another Freya, like she's another goddess of love essentially. So yeah, I'm scratching off the both of them. So then I found out about a minor goddess named Eir, and she is essentially the goddess of healing. Like, she is associated with healing. Her name means healer, help, or mercy. Um, Again, she's associated with mercy, protection, grace, and being calm. And so, why I gravitated to this woman possibly being Eir was just the small little line that she had in this trailer about Atreus's illness. Just knowing about that, something that Kratos didn't even know. You know what I mean? So it's very obvious that she is very knowledgeable about the like just sicknesses and things like that. I would think she also really gives me this vibe, that, well, first of all, we always see her kind of like alone, I guess, but of course with Kratos and Atreus, but she's just not like around civilization, you know what I mean, like around like other people. So she gives me this vibe of like a herbalist who lives secluded from her village, for example, like Kira Metz from The Witcher 3, how she was essentially like the village witch, but she lived a ways away from the town. So she gives me that same impression as someone who lives secluded from society, in tune with nature, I guess, just like this picture kind of shows. And I know I'm making a bold claim with what I'm about to say, but I would put money on it that even if she isn't Eir, the goddess of healing, I think she is a goddess of some sort. Just for, I mean, a couple reasons. She seems very knowledgeable about the world when Kratos asks her, where must we go? um, to find the highest point in the realms, and she says you must go to a realm far beyond yours. So she seems very knowledgeable about the world. Also in the Be a Warrior trailer, she tells Kratos that the gods do not take kindly to outsiders. That could be just, like, sure, I'll give you that. Sure, a lot of mortals could also say that line, but I don't know, man. And then I guess just like my last point is the fact that she knew or she knows that Kratos is a god from another realm. Like, I just you can't tell me that any mortal or a random human healer could possibly know that, especially when Kratos has been trying to keep that hidden, has been trying to keep that side of him, like buried in the ground to never resurface. You know what I mean? Like, I just find it hard to believe that someone knows that Kratos is a god. Like, I don't know. I just feel like you wouldn't be able to know that information unless you were a god yourself or a goddess. Um, I don't know. I just find it hard to believe for any mortal to be able to just, you know that Kratos is a god, especially when he's been trying to hide that stuff, you know what I mean? So, I don't know. Like I'm just kind of like spitballing, like coming up with some theories. Um, at the end of the day, I really do think that she is a goddess of some sort. Ear is my number one, like on top of the list for me. Um, if she just turns out to be just a random herbalist, I will be like, fuck, dude. But I don't know. I think she could be a goddess. So that's my 2 cents on this woman. Also, I totally did not notice this my when I first watched the trailer in my reaction. Like, I thought this woman that Kratos was holding was like, I don't know, just like a Valkyrie or like an enemy, and he was like letting her go into this portal. But then like the more I watched it, I was like, holy shit, dude, she kind of looks like that woman. Um, I guess they are the same person, right? Like, just by this side by side, they do look exactly the same. So yeah, I'm assuming yeah, they are obviously the same person. I don't know what I'm talking about. Um, okay, but first of all, interesting that they would show that in a trailer. Because spoilers, obviously, but the fact that they would show this in a trailer tells me that I don't think she's dead from this. Maybe her dematerializing or whatever. She's just going into like another realm entirely. Um, yeah, there's no way that they would put a death of a character. Um, in a trailer, especially a character who I think is going to be pretty important to the story. There's just no way. So I don't think she's dead from this. I think she's just probably being transported into a different realm entirely. Now, speaking of other realms, let's talk about the nine worlds, the nine realms. Um, Man, this is why I find Norse mythology like so interesting. I'm definitely not an expert about this like at all. Like, I'm just like starting to learn about Norse mythology a little bit. Um, but essentially, just the idea that you have the world tree, Yggdrasil, I think that's how you say it. But basically, its branches and its roots are like the nine realms itself. I think is so cool, man. So yeah, let's talk about the realms really quickly. So we know the basic setup for the story, which is essentially Kratos and Atreus want to bring upon his mother's last wish, they want to bring her ashes to the highest point, or the highest realm basically. Um so yeah, after doing some research, I found out at the top level of the world tree itself, um, basically the three highest realms is Asgard, Elfheim, and Vanaheim. But the one that sits on top of Elfheim and Vanaheim is Asgard. So Asgard essentially is the highest realm in the world tree, right? Um, so we have to go to fucking Asgard, guys, which is the home of the gods, right? So yeah, I thought that was really cool. Obviously you got Midgard, the land of the humans or the realm of the humans, obviously in the middle. You also have places like the realm of the dwarves, the giants, the dark elves, all in the middle, and then of course at the bottom, you have. All right, so another little thing I noticed was this arm. Do you guys think it's just like a little bit of blood that he's keeping bandaged up, or do you guys think it's something actually serious? Because the more I look at it, it kind of looks black, but I mean, I guess you could also say it could be like purple. I don't know. It may just be like really bruised up because we know Kratos gets into some shit. Um, but I don't know, like it's tricky. It just kind of caught my eye because they definitely spent like a lot of time focusing on him, like kind of like wrapping that up. You know what I mean? So I don't know, man. Is there something going on with Kratos' body in the game as well? I don't know. It's an interesting question, but it's definitely something that caught my eye because, like I said, they spent a lot of time on this. Um, yeah, I don't know. And then if it's not a blood wound, um, if it's just something like a infection, then it would make sense why he would want to keep that wrapped up as well. You know what I mean? So I don't know, man. It could be something, or it also probably isn't anything at all. So I don't know. It could honestly go both ways. All right, and then to kind of touch on Kratos and Atreus, um, I really like what they're doing with Kratos in this game. This is a man who, I mean, just based off this trailer alone, and even the last like the E3 2016 and E3 2017 trailers that we've seen, basically everything that we've seen of Kratos, it to me it screams of a man who has had time to reflect on his entire life. I think he's at a point now where he's trying to he's trying to learn self-control, and he's also trying to like teach that to his son. Um just the fact that he said that there are consequences to killing a god. I really like the idea that Kratos is now someone who realizes that you can't just go off slaughtering, all the heads of all these gods like he did to the Greek pantheon, because there's real tangible consequences to this. Like, you guys remember when he killed Helios, or when he killed Poseidon? Like, the entire world was thrown out of balance. Like, it was just pure chaos. So I really like the fact that he recognizes that. Yeah, he recognizes that there are consequences to killing gods. um and yeah, it's just really cool that from God of War, from the ending of God of War 3 to now, that it just seems like he's had years upon years to reflect and just think about the stuff that he's done in the Greek to the Greek pantheon. Dare I say character development for Kratos? And also, kind of a little smaller thing that I noticed in the trailer as well is that in this shot, Kratos doesn't have Mimir's head, but then in this picture, he does have Mimir's head. So, first of all, we're obviously going to get to meet Jormungand, the World Serpent, multiple times, I'm guessing. He's going to be a recurring character, I hope. And then, I guess, timeline of the game. I feel like you would get Mimir's head, like pretty early on in the game, because he is essentially the Rememberer. He is the wise one in Norse mythology. He's known for his knowledge and wisdom, so I feel like he's going to be like a guide for us, throughout our journey. So I feel like if we're talking about someone who is a guide for Kratos, that you would probably have him towards the beginning of the game so he can accompany you throughout the entire journey, or like the rest of the journey. So the fact that he isn't in that first shot of the World Serpent, and Kratos on the boat looking at the World Serpent, the fact that Mimir isn't there, I'm curious, do we meet the World Serpent even before we get to see Mimir, possibly? Like, does the World Serpent come into the story like super early in the game? Like, that would be crazy. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I was just something I was thinking about, those two shots. Just the fact that Mimir was in, one shot, and then in another he isn't there. So just kind of had me thinking about the timeline of the game. And lastly, to touch on Mimir a little bit more, in Norse mythology, he was known as someone to give counsel to Odin once Odin like took his head. So I think it's cool that in this trailer we also hear him giving Kratos some counsel, but about his son. Him saying like if you keep this hidden away from him, he will start to resent you, and you might even lose him. So I think it's kind of cool. Like Mimir, the smartest man alive, is giving Kratos like dad advice as well. All right, and last but not least, I wanted to talk about this shot. In my opinion, the most impressive shot in this entire trailer. As soon as I saw this and like the music just like ramped up, like watch my reaction. Like my jaw was on the ground, dude. Like I absolutely love this shot. Um, and it's just like the mystery behind it. Like who are these floating white people? Like who are they? Um, yeah, I don't know, man. I think just that mystery alone has me fascinated and has my mind just like running with possibilities. Um, yeah, I don't know. And also the fact that like they seem friendly, I guess. Like they didn't attack Kratos. Kratos didn't attack them. And then just like the sense of like awe and wonder that that Atreus had looking at them was kind of like the same reaction that I had as well. Like that, Atreus walking through these people would be basically me. Like that would be the same face I would have in that moment. Like just like oh my god, like this is so cool. Um, but yeah, man, I absolutely love this shot. Like I said, it's my favorite one in the entire trailer. It had my jaw on the ground, dude. It was really cool. All right, so that is it for the video, guys. I guess like a little analysis, little breakdown for some things that I wanted to talk about specifically, that I didn't really get to touch on in my reaction. Um, so yeah, I mean that's basically it, man. Like I said, absolutely love the trailer. It was it was so good, man. Such a good trailer. But yeah, that's basically it, guys. For this little trailer breakdown. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Also, 420.